What's going on YouTube? Crypto Matrix here, coming at you with another cryptocurrency stream. And guys, today's video is going to be an instructional video on how to use Tradingview. I've had a lot of requests from students, friends, and just basically everyone involved in cryptocurrency, just how to, better do their charts on Tradingview. So guys, that's what we're going to be going over today, just how to navigate through Tradingview. If that's something that sounds good to you, be sure to stick around and subscribe and like. Guys, I'm gonna pop off the screen right here so you guys can see the full screen right here. I'm gonna disappear right here, and here we go, guys. So there's your basic Tradingview screen. Now, as you guys can see, you have your basic graph here with a bunch of candles. On your right, you have the price action, and this is on Gemini as well. So Bitcoin to the US dollar. You have your lows and highs, the days range, the 52-week range, so the lows and the highs. Look at that old Bitcoin price, guys. Don't you wish you could get some of that now, huh? The performance basically going on for the week, month, 3 months, and then the technicals as well. And what's also really nice about this is you can move this graph around. Okay, you can basically stretch this anywhere you want. You could make it the whole field. You could pull it over. You could move down your list of coins, which, trust me guys, once you start getting into this, you will have many. Okay? But you'll find something that's definitely comfortable for you. So one of the most important buttons on Tradingview, I believe, is the symbol search, which you'll find up here at the top left. And it'll bring up all of the comparisons. For instance, if you wanted to search the Bitcoin versus USD shorts on Bitfinex, you can click that right here, and then that pops up right here for you. Now say like you wanted to add to your watch list and actually continue to watch this, and not just in the immediate short term, you would go up to the right here by watch list and add symbol, and then you'd be able to pick whichever symbol and exchange you like to add to your watch list. And then when you're done, just hit the X. Now, I'm going to show you guys basically how I do my charts, and a way that you guys can do the charts very simply, and even on the free version if you'd like. And the reason I say it like that is because on the free version you only have so many options. You can't use so many indicators, whereas on the paid version you can use endless indicators, have different colors on your different coins you're watching, and just little benefits like that. But in all honesty, guys, you guys could still make the same kind of benefits from the regular version as a paid version. I'm going to show you how to do that today. So we're going to start out very simply as if you're a brand new trader. You've never used this before. You have no clue what you're doing at all. So we're just going to start right up here. And this is the cross indicator. And this is definitely one of my favorite indicators. And if you want to see the other indicators that are in here, basically you can click on the little arrow there. And you can have either a dot, an arrow, or an eraser. Okay? And say like you wanted to add one of them to your favorites bar. You could add it right there, and it will show up. So for instance, there it is. There's your favorites bar, just popped up. And we're going to add the eraser because I like that one too. Then we go down to trend lines. Say like you wanted to start your first trend line. Here's an obvious one, what we've basically been going through for Bitcoin recently. Okay? So you would click right over here and then form your trend line. And then there's also the arrow to the right, but you could pull up several others. So we're going to mark this as a favorite as well. And then there are many other options. Now we're not going to go over every single one of them obviously here, but just know there are many other options in these bars. We get down to the next one. You'll find many different things like the pitchfork, the inside pitchfork, the Fibonacci retracement tool, which is a very popular tool. I'll add that one as well. Then you get down to your brush, which is obviously a very important one. So we're going to add that as well. Another very important one is the rectangle, because sometimes, as we know, resistances aren't just one point of line. They could be an area of either support or resistance. So we will add the rectangle as well. This is also where you can form text. And you can change the size, make it bold or not, or italic. Change the background. And so on and so on. The ABCD pattern, the L8 impulse wave, and the sine line. Indicators to help you with long positions and short positions. Here are just simple arrows, which can be turned. And I'll use those in my videos to show you guys where to enter in and out of positions, mostly entries. And then there's many symbols as well, as you can see right here, guys. One extremely good tool is the measuring tool right here. So basically, if you wanted to measure a percentage in gains, even from, let's just say, February, you could easily measure with this tool. So as you can see, even since January 31st, we had a pump of over 60% in Bitcoin, over 408 bars and 17 days. That's an incredible pump as well, guys. You can also move your favorites bar around to anywhere you like. Say like you wanted to see the price action. There it is. And if you wanted to see the logarithmic scale, toggle it. There you have it. And back again. You can also change your time zone down here. If you notice that you're having a very tacky line drawing experience, for instance, you draw a line and you notice it jumping like this, all that means, guys, is that your magnet is on. And that's a simple fix. Just go right back over to it and click it off. They even have a weak and strong magnet. So for instance, just to show it off, which I can barely even move this thing now. But what it tries to do is establish your support or resistance for you. And in all honesty, once you learn how to read it, you can do that stuff yourself. You don't need any additive help there. So we can just turn that off, or obviously put it on weak and then off, because we're not going to be using that. And this is if you wanted to zoom in. You could just click and then zoom in on that area. Zoom back out, click back on the same icon. So zoom in on the area you would like to see, and then zoom right back out if you would like. Quite simple once you actually get the hang of all the tools. This is an option to stay in drawing mode and then lock all drawing tools. For instance, maybe you have a toddler and you don't want, as they mash on the keyboard, you don't want your settings to be changed, lock your drawing tools. Very simple one, guys. And then, for instance, once you're done marking up your charts, say like you just want to check it out again, you can get rid of all your lines by hiding all your drawings with this icon right here, or a Control-Alt-H, which will get rid of everything for you. And then, of course, you could remove the selected drawing with the trash can. Now notice, you also get a bar which pops up right here, which has several things on it. And we'll go over that in a second. But for starts, you could also remove and or delete over here. Now, let's go over some very basic drawings on the graph. So again, back to the same trend line. Okay, draw it right through there. We'll then, with the cross, move to where we're comfortable. Something else you'll do with the trend line is establish supports and resistances. For instance, some supports right here. But we don't want a big green support there. So let's make it thinner. Let's make it yellow. And then let's make it have cuts in. Now that looks more like a support. Now, this is just for experimental purposes, guys. So, for instance, we're not really analyzing this graph right now, even though that trend line is accurate. And yes, those supports are accurate as well, but there's more to go over. So, for instance, the rectangle which we have, we can select it over here, or since we added it to our favorites, we can get it right down here. With Bitcoin at all-time highs and having recent bounces right from here, here, and here, you could say that we have an area of resistance building in this area here. Definitely some strong tools to be used are the rectangle and the trend line as well. Now say like you wanted to use your Fibonacci retracement tool, which we've added to our favorites bar down here. And again, we are just going to throw this out here. Any old where this is not how you would actually set it, guys, okay? But then, if you wanted to change anything on it, you could go down here and change its properties. Now, in all honesty, guys, this is probably set pretty nicely for you, so you don't really want to mess with it too much. You'd probably just want to leave that as it is. But technically, you could change the colors to anything you want. Watch, we could make them all disappear, basically. And that doesn't look good at all. So, for instance, we would click on it again. Go to apply default drawing template, and there is you're back to what is the default setting, and you're not stuck in some weird blacked out, can't even move it setting. So you can always fix everything, guys. And then you could also take your eraser and erase that if you wanted to erase anything. Then we also have time frames. So for instance, we could have the daily, 5-day, a month, 3-month, the 6-month, and so on to all time. I'm pretty sure on the Pro version you would get the entire chart there. What also is very important are the indicators and templates. Indicators and templates are extremely important. You're going to be wanting to be using these regularly. Some indicators I like very much are already on my favorites, but there are built-ins as well, and a whole lot of them. Those candlestick patterns, there are many. But we're just going to start out with a few favorites. We're going to start out with volume, which you will always need, and the moving averages. Now notice we can't see everything so good right now. Everything's not very bright. I like a nice bright chart that really pops out at me. So for instance, we could click, make sure your cross is enabled, click on the volume for instance, go to the gear setting, go to style, and then change your opacity. Notice there the color changes. Make them very bright. Maybe even a little thicker. And then same with the falling. Doesn't that look good? Then we can put in the volume MA, which is definitely something you guys want on. And also make that a little thicker just so it pops out at you more. Look how nice that looks. As for the EMAs, let me show you guys a little trick. So, forget the 20, the 50, the 128, and the 200 for a minute. Let's just get rid of them. Go to your templates for a second. You pull up your volume moving average exponential 8. You are left with 8 EMAs. The EMA 20, polar positive up, and then the EMA 55, the negative polar ups. Now what I like to do is get rid of all of the inner EMAs. And I can do that just by hitting this X on all of them, leaving only the 20 and the 55, the polar opposites. But on the free account, when you do that, you can only use a few more indicators, for instance. Let's just pull up stock RSI, and there we go. It says you have to use the 30-day free trial, in which case you could click it, pull up the options, in which case you could buy them. Right there. So, what I like to do to just avoid that and still get all the indicators that I want to have, I get rid of all this stuff. I start over. And I use the moving average 20, 50, exponential. I go into it in the settings. I turn off the 128 for now and the 200 because we're interested in more aggressive trading, mostly in leverage trading, and we want to be able to address those charts accurately. So what I'll do is I'll make the 20 yellow, just like we just saw, nice and bright, and then the 50, that blood red that we just saw on the other indicator, I match it. Now yes, that is not the 55, so this would not be as sharp, but still a very strong indicator. And we go back to the volume, assess it in the gear setting the same way. Nice and bright, a little thicker. Same thing. Volume bar, add a little thicker. And then we can still have 2 indicators left. So one that I really like is the stochastic RSI, which basically also can show price action pushing towards one way or another very clearly. And there are many that I really like. I really like the Bollinger Bands. I really like the MACD, but just for showing purposes, we're going to do the MACD. And then we have a bunch of indicators on the board on the free version. That is awesome, guys. And you could also change them around. You could make them really tiny if you wanted. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you know, you could make them like that and that still looks nice. But say like you want to see the whole thing up here, just double click There it is. Double click again, and your settings are currently back. Now guys, there are a few other settings on here. Basically, you could change the candles to bars, or hollow candles, for instance, or just a line. I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I like my candles. And guys, if you haven't seen my introduction to candlesticks, I'll put that in the video. That should be right above here. Just check that out. Introduction to candlesticks for beginners. And say, like, if you wanted to compare some symbols, you could compare them here in the Compare Symbol tab. You can also set alerts for yourself. So for instance, when we have a crossing up or crossing down, something greater than, for instance, a moving up in percentage, a moving down in percentage, and then you will get a message saying something like this, and then you create it and you will get a message saying, here is the price action. Now what's really beautiful about Tradingview, and why I always suggest all of even my students to use it, is because you can have this app on your phone. You can link everything to your phone. So for instance, when you're not just at your computer, you're out at dinner, you're at your party, or you're out with your friends or your kids, you can still check the charts and know that if you're missing something or need to be in a trade, and then there's other apps that you can be in and make those trades real quick and then still get back to your life real fast, and that's really nice as well. And then basically, if you want to go back or undo something, Control Z, or the undo button is at the top, or if you want to move forward, the option is highlighted. You could also do that there as well. There are also several layouts you can select on the right, up to 8 of them right now, and I think on the Pro version there's even more. Okay. You can even take a snapshot, go full screen mode, and you can get out of that with an escape. And then you can even publish your work and share your ideas with the trade community, which is also really cool. So a lot of people will do that with Twitter and share their ideas that they're enthusiastic about. And then over here you have your watch list, and then you can add coins over here with this little plus sign. Makes it very simple to use, guys. And then your alerts and your notifications will show up on the right. There's public chats, your ideas, the calendar, hot lists, data window, news, and more, your alerts. That's the ideas stream, yes. And then your notifications here. And guys, that is about it for the Tradingview overview and how to. And guys, that's how I do my charts. And guys, I manage risk very well, and I'm in leverage trades basically every single day. And it's little tips and tricks like this which really help me get the additive edge. Yes, I've been at this for a long time, but understanding just how to maneuver through the devices and equipment that you're using is extremely helpful and important, especially in the early stages, when you're trying to figure things out. I'm going to warp back in here. So guys, yes, that was my overview on Tradingview. Definitely an extremely awesome platform. I advise everyone to check it out and use it. It's definitely an amazing analysis tool, and definitely a trusted program. You can even set buys on there. It's something I didn't go over, but you can even set buys, like potential buys in there, and test out what you would have gotten in profits, or if you're not sure to actually do real buys yet. But guys, in this bull market, we're getting a lot of bullish time, so just very exciting. But guys, that is my overview how-to on Tradingview. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe and like. I am Crypto Matrix. I'll catch you guys later.